What is up, guys? It is James from Cop Logic, and we're back with an update regarding the Michael Edwards situation, and it's a positive update. It's a big one. This is really good news. But before we dive into it, please remember to give the video a like if you can. It really helps us out, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Again, it just massively helps support the channel. You're only keeping yourselves up to date with all the Liverpool news, so it's doing yourself a favor as well. We promised you we'd keep you up to date on this Michael Edwards situation, and that's exactly what we're doing. We've got new information fresh this morning from Fabrizio Romano, who you'll all know as the king of football journalism, and he's been tweeting this morning about the Michael Edwards situation. So let's dive into what he's had to say. Liverpool are close to complete agreement to bring Michael Edwards back to the club after final attempt exclusively revealed by himself last week. It's imminent. Final detail discussed, club now very confident. And in addition to that, Richard Hughes ready to accept and join Edwards as part of new LFC structure. Now, Richard Hughes was the sporting director of Bournemouth. He recently announced that he would be leaving the club in the summer. So I'm going to get into what that means in terms of Michael Edwards' role, and also what Richard Hughes would potentially be doing at Liverpool. I'll discuss them both. You might not know that much about Richard Hughes, so we will get into that in a second. But I mean, this is huge news, right? And I think he's using words like imminent, and the club are now very confident. And I think it really sounds like we are days away from an official announcement. Maybe it happens on Monday. It is the weekend at the moment, so maybe it happens on Monday. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. I mean, because as soon as this is done, as soon as this is over the line, we can start looking at bringing in a new manager, which of course we all hope is going to be Xabi Alonso. But this is absolutely massive. But I seen an interesting thing from Jimmy Rice, who is an editor at Sky. He's got no credibility, don't get me wrong. Like, I wouldn't class him as a journalist, so to speak. But he said something that I just thought was interesting, because I absolutely agreed with it. I seen a tweet that he posted this morning, and he just said, all of the Michael Edwards close to agreeing is nonsense. It was done weeks ago. Richard Hughes didn't leave his current job on the off chance. And again, this guy's got no contacts in the industry. He's not a journalist. He's just an editor at Sky. And so I'm not saying that what he's saying there, it was done weeks ago, is like 100% confirmed or anything. But what I will say is he's not wrong. Like, Richard Hughes didn't just leave his job at Bournemouth on the off chance that he might pick up a job at Liverpool. Surely you would expect that he's left his job at Bournemouth because he knew there was something waiting for him at Liverpool. You know, he's very good friends with Michael Edwards. I think the reason Richard Hughes is joining is because Michael Edwards has accepted this deal with Liverpool, this role. And what we know of the role that they're offering him is that it's a more senior position than the sporting director. So obviously Michael Edwards was the sporting director of Liverpool. You know, first of all, it shows real ambition from FSG to go and get him back, by the way, because he said no once already, and we've gone back again. And when he said no originally, he said, I want a more senior role. I wouldn't come back to be sporting director. I want a more senior role. And FSG have gone back and they've offered him that role, and it looks like he's going to accept it. It looks like, you know, maybe it's even already done and we're just waiting on the announcement. But, you know, using words like imminent and very confident makes you think we are really close now to getting that announcement. And it's huge as well. The other thing I'll say is, like, don't let any other club, when this gets over the line, tell you that it doesn't mean anything. This is absolutely massive, the stuff he's done at Liverpool. And we'll get into Richard Hughes, as I mentioned as well, what he's done at Bournemouth. But this is really big news. And if you go and search up Michael Edwards on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, go and take a look at the United accounts and the Chelsea accounts that were tweeting about him a couple of months ago. They were desperate for him. United were desperate to get him in. After Ineos took over the club, Chelsea were desperate to get him in because of the mess they've been put in. Other clubs are desperate for this guy. And so I wouldn't say it's like a coup on Liverpool's part, because he used to be ours in the first place, but the fact we've managed to get him back. In case you don't know, here's a few of the names at Liverpool that Michael Edwards was responsible for. And this isn't all of them, but I've picked a few out here that I just think really make you realise what a job this guy did at Liverpool Football Club. Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Alisson Becker. I mean, that's huge already when you think of how influential those players have been on Liverpool Football Club. Virgil van Dijk and Alisson in particular, remember when they came in, it made us Champions League contenders, title contenders, everything. And Mo Salah, one of the greatest players of all time, in my opinion, and certainly the best player in the Premier League at the moment, at this current moment. So what a player. What signings there have been. But it doesn't even end there. You know, Ibrahima Konate, Diogo Jota, Fabinho, all revolutionary signings. You know, and I say revolutionary, like you might think, oh, Diogo Jota's just, you know, a rotation player, whatever. But what a rotation player he is, what an option he is to come off the bench. you know, incredible. And it's the prices that he brought these players in for as well. And here's the real good and promising bit, because what we understand from the contract is that FSG want to bring Michael Edwards in as overseer, basically, of all sporting operations at Liverpool. So he's not going to be a sporting director. He's actually going to be in charge of all sporting operations at Liverpool, which that's great. To give this guy even more power than he used to have. Brilliant, because what he was doing with the limited budget he had was incredible. Those players he brought in, what he could do when he's got more control over what happens at this football club, who knows? Sky's the limit. But Richard Hughes, who you would assume he's going to bring in to work underneath him. Now, we think that FSG are getting rid of the sort of sporting director moniker, but you would imagine Richard Hughes comes in and does something along those lines. And if you take a look at his portfolio from Bournemouth, now bear in mind this is Bournemouth, they've got a much smaller budget and they've got way less pulling power than clubs like Liverpool or whatever. But some of the players he's brought in, Nathan Ake for 20 million, and the prices are important in this, by the way, the prices he managed to get these players in at. Nathan Ake, 20 million, Dominic Solanke, 19 million, Philip Billing, 15 million, Tavernier, 12 million, Lewis Cook, 10 million, Callum Wilson, 3 million, Aaron Ramsdale, 800k. Now, like Nathan Ake, Solanke, Callum Wilson for 3 million, Aaron Ramsdale, not even a million. Look at the players they've become, you know what I mean? We're not talking about world beaters here, but Callum Wilson, Aaron Ramsdale, great players, and the prices he got him in for. This guy knows how to hustle, this guy knows how to find a bargain, a deal, and we know that Michael Edwards is capable of the same stuff on a much higher level in terms of the players he brought in, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson Becker. So this sounds on paper like a great partnership. It's super promising for the future of Liverpool Football Club. And it shows massive ambition from FSG to go and get him back. He said no once already, and he laid out quite firmly what he wanted. If I'm to come back, I want a more senior role, and FSG have gone away and they've obviously discussed it and decided we'll give him that senior role. He's definitely worth it. You know, he's transformed this club from where we were under Brendan Rodgers to what we became under Jurgen Klopp. This guy was instrumental in doing that. So I think it is huge, especially because there's going to be so much unrest and there's going to be so much uncertainty when Jurgen Klopp steps down at the end of the season. But this does help soften that blow, and no one's going to replace Jurgen Klopp, and it's never going to feel good when we get to the end of the season. But this does certainly help because it shows ambition. It shows that FSG have got a plan in place for next season post Jurgen Klopp. And as soon as this is over the line and the structure is in place, we can start looking at that next manager, which hopefully is Xabi Alonso. So let's all wait on that next step. Let's wait and see what happens on that. But this is massive news. Don't let no one tell you it isn't. Like I said, United wanted them, Chelsea wanted them, and it looks like Liverpool are gonna get him. So huge news, super exciting. And hopefully in the coming days, we're gonna have that official announcement and we can let you guys know that it's officially finally happened. But again, as Fabrizio Romano put it himself, Michael Edwards is imminent. Give the video a like if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on everything, so you can be here when we can give you that announcement that it's finally over the line. It's happened. Michael Edwards is back at Liverpool. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Shout out to Akira Toriyama, by the way, rest in peace, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.